Welcome to a special edition of the Indie Comics Report. We're going to be talking about the project that is born from IndieAdvocates.com. That's right, it's the Advocator. I'm going to go over some stuff for you guys today, and we're going to talk about some of the projects that we're cross promoting with at this point. There might be more at this point. There's just one at the moment, but I wanted to go over that. I definitely wanted to show you guys what you could get. I want to spend some time talking. If you guys want to talk about the Advocator, have a question about the Advocator, please do not hesitate to drop a link so we could talk about it. And we're going to go straight to the Advocator page so you guys can see where we're at. We're not doing too shabby. We're at 400. Let me move it over. $483. We're almost going to be, and I'm going to drop the link in the comment section right now, and feel free if you have any questions to ask. And we're going to be talking about all the project aspects of it. We're going to be on for a little bit, so just ask your questions. I'm here to answer them. We're going to be doing a couple of these. This is probably going to be our brand new segment on Friday till the Advocator's over. And this is going to be what it's going to be. Next week, you'll probably see me on the road going to Ancient City Comic Con, as a matter of fact. But here we go. This is the Advocator Halloween Special. Fall Edition Halloween Special. Passion and storytelling. It's about community coming together to support each other. It's about getting exposure for creators and helping them reach new markets. It's about taking creativity to the next level by only using 4-page stories to tell a compelling story. It's a sneak peek into bigger universes. It's about the power of creativity, but most importantly, it's about you. It's about entertaining you, enticing you to read, and getting you interested in comics like never before. It's about making you one of us and making you an indie advocate. Get your copy of the indie comic Poo Poo Platter today on Kickstarter. Brought to you by Advocate Comics and the site that started it all, IndieAdvocates.com, the global digital Comic-Con.
Featured in this version of The Advocator are Dead Kingdom by Etienne Serpentinier, The Chimp with the Brown Hat by Nathaniel Gold, The Zombieful World of Oz by Eric Hawkins, Manny Wolf by Rob Anderson, Reapers by Travis Gibb, and Link by Chuck Pino and Sean Barber.
Not all covers are final. Alright, so not all covers are final is because at this point, you never know. We might change something. We do that a lot. Not on purpose, but if we come up with a better idea, if someone comes in late, or if someone tweaks something, we just don't want to have anything be forced onto anyone. And for some reason I can't tag the... Oh, because I don't have the... So I'm trying to tag people to get part of our amazing day today. See if we can get people to be... I have a closed group. It won't let me tag a page. How funny is that? There it goes. I had to play around with it. So we're sending out the signal to all my friends. And let's see who wants to talk about it. Alright, so we are going to be monitoring the chats, of course, and we're going to dive deep into the past of the Advocator right now. Because this is the end of the year Advocator. We will not be doing another issue this year. So we're going to take a look back at the original 2 Advocators that started it all. And here we go. We're going to start here. Here you go. The Advocator presents this week's featured story, Grimwood Crossings. Grimwood Crossings follows monster hunters in the Wild West. In this short story, they hunt down the ghost of a witch that has been haunting the trail into the town. Also featured in the Winter Advocator is Welcome to the Void .5, not broke down yet, Mary Revised,
Modern Testament's new reimagined take on Noah and his Ark, Grimwood's Crossing Short, which we just mentioned, and Binary Star's intergalactic bar fight. We appreciate you guys supporting us and want you to know what The Advocator is all about. The Advocator Presents is a collection of short stories from indie creators who have their own pre-established franchises now offering continued short stories of the characters that you have fallen in love with and may even get some insight into these characters. So some of our creators featured in this volume that you're already a fan of, you get a new short story that you have never seen before. The Advocator Presents is a new way to advocate for creators and their creations by allowing and challenging them to create new stories within their worlds and then advocate for each other on the Comic-Con highway. A great benefit of this project is that all creators are all equal in this project, and all creators will get an even share of the printed books. No one creator shall profit over the other creators outside the hustle of sales at their tables on the Comic-Con highway.
And now we're going to show you some other videos. This is, of course, our first issue. And the reason we're bringing this up is that it's going to be important. The first issue is going to be available for you guys. And I think that was the Modern Testament one. I want to see if we had the original. We learned after doing these that there's a time and a place where you can no longer update it. And basically after you do it. So here, we'll check out Binary Star. There you go. So we left a little tip before your Kickstarter goes off of being funded about an hour before. Take a little time and maybe clean out the Kickstarter and just leave the important stuff and put all your.
The Advocator Presents Binary Star, this week's featured story. The mismatched interstellar heroes of Binary Star drop in on a wild party on a black market planet, but while they're building giant tequila ice luges and getting into territorial bar fights with dogs, a psychopathic seductress secretly stalks them from the shadows. By Jamie Primack. Also featured on this Kickstarter is Mary Revised, Grimwood Crossing, not broke down yet, The Void, .5, and Modern Testament.
Alright, guys, and we're going to give you, the other one, we had Modern Testament.
Advocator Presents indie comic franchise shorts. The Advocator is like web episodes for indie comic book franchises. Short stories giving you more of the characters you love. This week's feature is Modern Testament by Frank Martin. The ancient story of Noah and his Ark gets reimagined for the modern world by Frank Martin. We are super excited by all the press that we've been getting and all the love that we've gotten through backing and through support. Please join us and become an advocator yourself today for this amazing project, changing how indie comics are viewed.
Now, this first campaign ended back in January. We brought to life. We were brought to life by 168 backers. We raised close to 3,000, just under at 2,790. It was a great start. We did really, really well. I was very proud of it. We did go down to the wire a little bit, but it didn't matter. We made it happen. The summer edition is here, and we just want to give you a quick, for those who don't know what's in here, okay, here. Welcome to the Void, Grimwood Crossings, Binary Star, broke down in 4 Dead Bodies, although that story is not yet broke down in here, Modern Testament, and Mary Revised. So we switch gears, we go over to our summer edition. Oops, we're in our updates. Here we go. So check this out. And this is a little bit this is a little bit of a longer video because we literally put this the week before. And a week before we actually were to fund, it was looking bad. We were at $1,000, and we had to make, at that point, $1,000 to fund the project. So we had 5 days left, a business week, and I made this video, and things began to change.
Why are you actually at this page, and what is all this? Well, The Advocator is born out of passion. It is born out of the idea that creators can work together and bring to life something that is powerful, that showcases the passion of indie creation. And in fact, this actually showcases different indie comic franchises. That's right, we call them comic-sodes. They are shorts of stories and ongoing universes from the indie creators' minds. These franchises are brought to life in this book as a let's call it collection, or a preview for it, or the poo-poo platter of indie comics. And as you guys can see, there's some amazing stuff going on. We have an amazing monster of a crossover going on called A Monster of a Cosplay that brings into one story the franchises Into the Suck, Barbara Unleashed, and Manny Wolf, the cosplaying detective, which is coming out later this year. This is born from the site IndieAdvocates.com, the global digital Comic-Con, and is about advocating for indie creators. So if this project is the child of that site, you know it's meant to advocate for indie creators. And I'm just going to give you guys the speech, and then I'm going to send you on your way. The Advocator Presents is a collection of short stories from indie creators who have their own pre-established franchises, now offering continued short stories of the characters you have fallen in love with. And you may even gain some insight into those characters. For some of our creators featured in this volume that you are already a fan of, you get a new story that has never been seen before. The Advocator Presents is a new way to advocate for creators and their creations by allowing and challenging them to create new stories within the worlds and then advocate for each other on the Comic-Con highway. A great benefit of this project is that the creators are all equal in this project, and all creators will get an even share of printed books. No one creator profits over the others outside of the hustle of sales at their tables. And we have some amazing creators featured in this, and I'm going to quickly just tell you who's here so you know. We have the amazing historian for wrestling, John Crother, with Lopsided. Masina, the Samoan Werewolf, is by Walter White, who is just amazingly talented from music to comics and more. Martha Schwartz gives us some seeds and the seed seekers to plant our fandom in her work. Barbara Unleashed Monsters, and finally announcing that welcome to the Into the Void, not welcome to the void, that's Chuck, Into the Void. Chuck is our editor, by the way. Give some love to Chuck and Travis. Chuck is the editor on the project, and Travis is the project manager. Without those two, this would not be the project it is today. And as you guys can hear, I'm stumbling on words. I'm doing this one time. That's how passionate I am. One time I can talk about this. So excuse the few flubs I've had, but just how passionate I am about it, that I don't want to do 1,000 takes. I want you to hear how I feel about it in one take. And Barbara Unleashed and Into the Suck, not Into the Void, not Welcome to the Void, Into the Suck, which is my good friend Keith Thomas, who we lost 2 years ago to cancer. We get to pay homage to his creation to make sure that, as promised, it continues to go forward. Nature, and that's also with CB Zane. Credit to him. He's my partner in this story. We're usually they're team leaders, but in this, we are totally partners in this particular cosplay crossover. And Nature Boy is actually a creation from Jerry Siegel, the Superman creator. That's from Brian K. Morris and Eric Hawkins. And Mary revised, finally, our first two-part 8-page story was given to us by Joseph Duas. And the first Advocator, you got the first part. Here's the second part. Now, here's a little thing. We're not giving that up. Manny Wolf is actually going to move on from this particular story, and he's our other part of an 8-page story arc. And in fact, he actually launches a series out of the Advocator. I thought that'd be super cool to do. By the way, I'm Rob Anderson. I am the Indie Devil and the creator of Barbara Unleashed and Monsters and Manny Wolf. And I'm super excited to be considered the creator of this project and the advocate for this project. And I'm super excited that you took the time to listen to this video. Please take a moment and look at all the pledges. Travis did a great job of making these amazing graphics, I guess. Yeah, graphics, we'll go with that. These artistic graphics for the project, and I'm super excited to be able to share this with you. Please take a moment. And remember that every single dollar gets a reward. If you pledge $1, you get to pick one 4-page story and actually own it. Now, there's one caveat to that. Lopsided, I should say, only has, well, it has 11 pages, but you only get a 4-page preview if you spend the $1. You will not get the full 11-page story, but we will be able to offer you a PDF later. Remember, you can get the first issue of The Advocator on this Kickstarter, and thank you for being an advocate.
I'm not sure what happened to the video at the back of it, but at that point, we were just trying to get it out. Worked really well. Obviously, we funded thanks to 115 amazing backers. So now we go to the third one. Now, I want you to know the reason we went back and looked at all those.
All of those books are in play, including their covers. You cannot get individual covers. We are talking about, there are a few individual covers we have left from this year. I am willing to trade them off. Because I am the producer of the project. Me, Travis, and Chuck are all allowed to get books. Now, the reason we get books is also to help us advocate for other creators. The process of this, and I'm going to play the video so you guys have something to watch while you're listening to me. The process of this has always been to get these books printed, to take them to shows with us, to promote people. And even though I am technically in the book 3 times, I am only a writer twice. You can only be a writer twice. So you can only be the main creator or team lead twice a year. So we're hoping to get 4 issues a year out. We're going to try that next year. I happen to be in all 3. But even if I wasn't in one of these issues, I have the right as the producer and the publisher to print them. Now, here's the thing I want to stress. So everyone asks this question. Where does the money go? And that's an interesting question. It's a good question, and I like the question because I like talking about it. So here's where the money goes. We take it and we divide it. We divide it so no one pays. The Advocator brand itself does not pay for art. The creators themselves might have paid for art. They might have had people pay to do lettering, to do. I paid in my my personal project for the art in this fall issue, and I paid for the coloring in the summer issue. But the Advocator brand itself never paid for that. Everyone gives us their stories. We don't keep them. There is no ownership. The Advocator does not own anything, and it will not own anything other than its name. That we are given, considered a licensing opportunity, for lack of a better term right now. We are able, not even at licensed, we are able, think of us like as HBO. HBO doesn't own any of the movies that they play unless they made them, right? So we're like HBO. We're given these different franchises to show and showcase, and that's what we're doing. We're showcasing the different creators, and you guys can see that down here with this. We'll switch over actually on our main screen. You'll see all the people who have been part of this amazing project, and we're super proud of everyone. And that's just who I am. I'm trying to find it for you guys. Hold on. There it is. So that's everyone who's been part of it. It's over 20 franchises coming together. And if we have time, I'll list off all of them. So everyone owns everything in there on their own. We create a book that helps promote. So when I get the book, as a creator, if I'm involved, I get a certain cut. The cut is based on how much money we make. We all agree upon it before we go to Kickstarter, the group, and we have realistic expectations, and we determine what we're going to do. We then use the money to fulfill and get everyone books. Now, if there happens to be any extra, which technically right now there is no extra. We have not seen a profit out of any of these Kickstarters. But if there were profits, it would probably go back into buying older issues. If there was extreme profits, then we would set up probably signings or do a convention with all the Advocator creators together. Or maybe we talked about, one of the other things we talked about was, I think we were talking about a compilation cover. We might have paid an artist to do that. But no one's getting money from a Kickstarter. That just does not happen. So far, it's actually gone into the negative twice. This time, it went into the negative because of the books that I donated. I didn't really donate them this time. They paid for printing costs on it, basically. I gave my books away from printing costs. They traded them off for other issues on the summer edition. So there's never a clear cut, like, we have money at the end of it. And a lot of Kickstarters are that way. But we're literally sending the books out to these different creators throughout the world. The one person who wound up not getting as many issues was Connor, but we made a deal with him that Connor would be able to reprint his cover. He is the only alt cover that is allowed to be reprinted, and that was because he's in Alaska, and it would have cost him more to actually have us ship it to him than have it printed locally. So we gave him the right to print that, which was only fair. And, you know, there are going to be circumstances. It's never going to be 100%. But even if he does reprint that, he's going to reprint it with his logo in it. That was the agreement. So anyone who gets the actual covers from this, they remain that way. And that's why we do a virgin cover. So there is no money in this. There is nothing. Travis doesn't make money. Chuck doesn't make money. I don't make money. And no one makes money on the Kickstarter. What we do is we get books. That's the compensation. And as me as a producer, so as a creator, I get a book. I get whatever the agreement is. I get them sent to me end of day. Now, as the producer, I'm allowed to buy extra issues, as is everyone else who's involved in the Kickstarter, or the project, I should say. They're allowed to buy extra books. That is always encouraged. They want more books for their table. They can get more books. That is absolutely fine. They can also reorder when we're reordering. We're going to be reordering issue number 1, as a matter of fact, in a few weeks. Because of this campaign, we're out of issue number 1. I'm personally out of the covers. The 3 packs that we have, and I'll show you what we're talking about. There's this massive collection with all the covers right here. All 19 covers from the Advocator Presents 2019 collection. $175, limited to 3. That's it. There's only 3 of those packages in the world, as far as I know, right now, that they're going to exist through us. Now, we could have had someone who backed all the covers on both projects and done it, but we're talking, I think me and Travis figured out that it was maybe 3 or 4 people. So in the end of the day, there are going to be about 6 people in the world who has all the covers. So this is a pretty exciting, if you're a collector, this is it. This is the collector's thing, because here it goes. It's never going to be available again. We just don't have the quantity anymore. That's it. It's done. These are the last 3. And again, the money that, and now the way I'll get compensated for this is that, because it's coming out of my collection of books, I'll get traded off books for the new book. So this will cost me 19 books for my collection. So I'll get 19 extra of my books. So there's never money. I'm not being paid for this, and it's just print for print. So while I could make more selling them, the Advocator itself does not pay to cover price for that. It is something I'm doing because I want to help the project. And I want to help. This is important to me. And again, this is it. This is the only time a 2019 collection will be available outside of the collector's market. Collector's market might have it. And if you do back, and this is super awesome, and this comes into play with all the backing it. And let's say you get that super pack, right? Let's say that you're listening to me today and you're like, wow, I need that. Rob has sold me. Look at all that. 20 franchises, 18 4-page stories, actually 16 4-page stories, and 2 different stories. I think Travis comes in at 7 or 8 pages, and of course 11 pages for Lopsided. So you get a lot of content. So if you got all those books, let's just say you either get that collector's pack or you've gotten 1 physical copy of each of the Advocator. It doesn't matter if they're an all cover or anything like that, but you've gotten at least one winter physical copy, 1 summer physical copy, 1 winter, 1 summer, 1 fall physical copy. You get all 3 of those. You guys are going to get for free, and you'll have the choice of either having this folded or not folded. This is going to be a dust cover. So this is the literal cover. On the inside flaps, we're going to have me, Chuck, Travis, and Advocate Comics all have a little passage with an icon or logo above it talking about what the Advocator means to us. And on the inner part of it, we're going to treat it like a yearbook where all the other creators are going to have the option to sign and write you guys a message like they would in a yearbook. That's free. That's for anyone who has supported us. That is just us doing it. As a matter of fact, I think me and Travis came up with the idea that we will we'll make sure it happens. Even if funds are a little tight, we'll make sure that this does not affect anything. So if me and Travis have to come out of pocket and pay for these for the people, we're okay with that. We've already agreed with that because, it's a tight budget, $2,000. Remember, we're sending 50 some books to creators, or whatever it is, the number is. I'm not sure how many, but I think it's between 30 and 50 books every creator gets. So you have 6 creative teams. Well, every creative team. And this is important. We have 1 person who represents every team, and they deal with it because they own the rights to that. The person we're talking to owns the right to the art. So they're agreeing for it to be in the Advocator and for us to be able to reprint it later in future Advocator issues, as we need to print it without the alt cover, because the alt covers cannot be reproduced. There's one exception to the alt cover rule, and the person who gets that exception is myself. And the reason I have that exception is, if you guys can look, I don't think I have it anywhere bigger than, oh, actually I might have it on, let me see if the summer edition, if we got it up. Okay, we did get it up in time. All right, let's go over to here and I'll show you. I am the one exception to the rule, because we made mine, The Advocator Presents a Monster of Cosplay. It's designed to be like that. It's designed to resell. And the story itself, for those who don't know, was actually meant to show the power of what the Advocator can be. How cool is that? And I just want to, stress to you guys that this is a great way for people to get together and to advocate for each other. So, I mean, you guys really should enjoy the epicness of the storytelling that is throughout this series. Now, this 2019 year has been amazing. So many great creators coming together. I'm so impressed and so thankful to have so many great people. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to give you guys another look, because I've been talking for a while, at what the fall edition is.
What is the Advocator? It's passion and storytelling. It's about community coming together to support each other. It's about getting exposure for creators and helping them reach new markets. It's about taking creativity to the next level by only using 4-page stories to tell a compelling story. It's a sneak peek into bigger universes. It's about the power of creativity, but most importantly, it's about you. It's about entertaining you, enticing you to read, and getting you interested in comics like never before. It's about making you one of us and making you an indie advocate. Get your copy of the indie comic Poo Poo Platter today on Kickstarter. Brought to you by Advocate Comics and the site that started it all, indieadvocates.com, the global digital Comic-Con.
Featured in this version.
Now, I'm cutting off Chuck because I want to give you guys some information. So we're going to head over to some things that I wanted to talk about. And let me see. Maybe I can play the video for you in a loop. Oh, then it'll... Let me see. Maybe I can get it.
What is the Advocator? It's passion and storytelling. It's about...
All right, there we go. So you guys can watch the video. It'll continuously roll as I talk about some things about the Advocator. All right, so what is the Advocator? It's passion and storytelling. It's community coming together to support each other. It's exposure for creators to reach new markets. It's creativity taken to the next level by using a 4-page limit to tell a story. Of course, 2 people have broken it, but for the most part, they're 4 pages. It's a sneak peek of bigger universes. It's power. It's the power of creativity. You can tell I've never read this out loud yet. It is about you. A few weeks from now, I'll be able to recite this in my sleep. It is about entertaining you, inciting you, enticing you to read, getting you interested in comics like never before. It's about making you one of us. And we'll restart this for you guys. And of course, this is all brought to you by Advocate Comics. Get your copy of the indie comic Poo Poo Platter today on Kickstarter. Now, for those who are wondering, Poo Poo Platter, if you don't know what that is, that means you've never been to a Chinese restaurant. Poo Poo Platter, for those who might not know, is actually just basically a taster's plate, a buffet thing, I know there's another term for a party platter. In a Chinese restaurant. It just has a bunch of things on it. It's actually pretty good. I usually get the chicken. I'm very allergic to most of the things, but the chicken I'm fine with. So here's some facts. It is not an anthology. It is not a collection of anything. These are different franchises coming together. So these are creators working together. If anything, it is a collection of various indie universes given to readers as a 4-page portal into bigger indie comic franchises we lovingly call comic-sode. So it's not a collection of one idea or a collection of just one type of book, but in fact it is something very different. It is something unique and interesting, and I think that the comic sods really kind of sells on the open market. When I tell people comic sods, they really kind of like that. It is not owned by any one person, but it is published under Advocate Comics, because some people wondered that. No person owns this. Advocate Comics publishes it. The only thing that you could technically say is owned is the Advocator name, and that'd be it. That'd be the only thing that would come close to being something that you could say is owned. It is not a for-profit campaign. All additional proceeds, if there are any, go back into the project to order back issues. Back issues are used later to help fund future Kickstarters. And if I decide to buy more books to have on my table, I have to pay for them. But the campaign itself, as you see, we are going to constantly offer back issues, just not alternate covers, so everyone can always catch up on it. That's where the money would more than likely and is scheduled to go. It would take a massive amount of we got like $10,000. Of course, everyone would probably get a lot more books at first, but then we'd get together as a group, and this would be like, at this point, the 18 leaders, group leaders of all the different projects. Well, actually, it's a little less because I went twice and Travis went twice, so I think it's about, say, 14 of us. 14 of us are going to get together and we do all vote what to do with the rest. That's what we're going to wind up doing. So we want to be transparent. We want everyone to know. Of course, we're right now at, let's take a look right now as we're talking. So right now I'll show you guys, $488. So I don't think we really need to worry too much about this becoming a viral hit just yet. I do think there's going to be a day, honestly, where we will do this and it will just blow the doors off as it begins. But we're building that fan base now. It is a great way to have your work go into markets you cannot or have not yet been able to be in person. The creators involved span the United States and even the world. Imagine getting your books into new markets by just being part of the project. That's what the Advocator does. It is not about any one person. In fact, there are limits on how many times any creator can be in any issue of the Advocator in a calendar year. That being 2. Does not count lettering, colorist, editors, or cover artists. So I am technically credited in the first book, Welcome to the Void story, but I was a letterer, so it's not held against me, nor would it be a colorist or an artist. It's just basically the creator of it, the writer of it. Or an artist, if they're the creator of it, could not bring 3 in a year. This is, in fact, the child, the evolution of advocating of indieadvocates.com. This is why there has been this. This is why we've been able to get so much support. If you guys have been on social media, you've seen how much it's been shared. This is actually how we started the idea of Indie Advocate Comics, but we wanted it to be something different, so we decided to make it Advocate Comics, and I kind of like that. I kind of do. And the logo for Advocate Comics is also Cat Dad, which is now going to be part of it. And Advocate Comics are basically going to be something that advocates for different things. So the Advocator, of course, advocates for creators. The Cat Dad and Supermom story advocates for comics in kids' hands. It advocates anti-bullying, which we'll be talking about more in the future. And Cat Dad will be making an appearance in a future episode of The Advocator. Episode, issue, whatever you want to call it. And here's some other facts. The covers we print can be only used if they're remodified. In other words, they cannot be in the Virgin version. Virgin, of course, is without the trade dressings, the logos, the names, all that cannot be on it. And creators keep all rights. The only thing that they give us is the ability to print these stories in the Advocator and the ability to reprint the issue. And they also have to give us the first printing of the stories. And if we run late, this did happen where we ran late. We were supposed to have released the story and something delayed us, and that was our fault. And the creator wanted to put it in their book. They were allowed to if we screw up. They did give us the opportunity to be the first. It was because of us we didn't get out. And we do not pay for art. We do not give cash payments to anyone. None of that happens. And the team leaders are responsible for all their different individual things. And we're going to go over to the summer edition right now. the fall edition, and tell you some of the pitches that we have. So I'm going to get you guys, let's see. Here we go. This is the perfect one. All right. So for Manny Wolf, the cosplaying detective, we catch up with Manny after his meeting with who he calls Barbara, the kinky goddess, to find him confronted with a mystery he must solve. This story is the jump-off point for Manny getting his own title in 2020, Manny Wolf, the cosplay detective. Ooh, my. Yeah, it is the cosplaying detective. I actually have it down as cosplay. It's my own brand. You think I'd get it right. So, I'll fix that now. And yes, there's going to be jokes about the name of it. Now, this is written by me. Art by James Sim for this story, but the cover and future artist of the series is Martha Schwartz. So you will see a different feel to the book, and that'll even be addressed because these will be used as the first 4 pages of the comic book, but then we're going to switch to Martha's style. We will address it in story, not explaining it necessarily, but at least having fun with the different art style being used. And both art styles are amazing. And I wanted to kind of do this black and white to begin it. I wanted that Wizard of Oz thing, so this worked out really well. Dead Kingdom. Let's start with Dead Kingdom. Right over here in the left corner of your screen. After a war that divided the land, the kingdom of Ethanor finally found peace. But now, a plague may destroy that serenity. The dead are coming back to life and killing the living. Cain, a man raised by war, will face the horrors that's destroying the kingdom while trying to get back the only person that ever mattered to him. Dead Kingdom, a in-the-work, multiple-volume saga, will explore the world of sorcery, brotherhood, and love colliding with the rising nightmare of the living dead. Ooh, my. And this is written and illustrated by Etini. I can't say his name. I don't want to ruin it. Here, actually, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat real bad. I'm gonna get Chuck to do it.
The Advocator are Dead Kingdom by Etienne Serpentinier.
There we go. So I had Chuck tag in there for me. I'm sorry. I'm not good with names, and that one I'll never win with. And that is also lettered by Jerome Gagon. And Zombieful World of Oz. Return to the Oz with the Zombieful World of Oz. Dorothy has spent the last 10 years institutionalized upon her return from Oz as a child. Oh my. Now older and realizing that her adventures were her overactive imagination, she has been released and is learning to return to normal life. Except Dorothy is soon confronted by zombie Winky guards who have traveled to Kansas in search of her. The Tin Man, the Tin Woodman, the Cowardly Lion, and the Scarecrow show up to save her. How will Dorothy adjust to being thrown back into the world of Oz after spending the last 10 years being conditioned to believe it was all a fantasy? It's a creation of Stone Door Comics with Eric S. Hawkins. Reapers is a really cool story about Reapers actually taking 2 sides of the fence. There are good Reapers and bad Reapers, apparently. This is brought to life by Travis Gibb from Broke Down of 4 Dead Bodies fame. A lot of people have been opening up their mail and been showing off that Belial campaign rewards. And Link is straight from it. This is the runaway character of 2019 has got to be Link. I think 2018 was Manny Wolf, and of course Manny Wolf's getting his own series now. 2019, we're seeing Link rise, and he's going to be an awesome character. We're going to see him hopefully in the Advocator in the future, crossing over with one of my brands. We'll talk more about that in the future. And then we have the Chimp with the brown hat. Now, seriously, do I have to say anything more? Shouldn't that sell you right there? I think it should. And we're going to leave it at that. All right, guys, and now we're going to head back over to our Kickstarter page. We've given you a lot of information. I'm not going to keep you much longer. I appreciate everyone tuning in. There's some of the work that we were talking about. So in a final closing thing, I just want to read. The Advocator Presents is a collection of short stories from indie creators who have their own pre-established franchises. Now offering continued short stories of the characters you have fallen in love with and may even gain some insight into those characters. For some of our creators, I should say, featured in this volume, that you are already a fan of, you get a new story that has never been seen before. The Advocator Presents is a new way to advocate for creators and their creations by allowing and challenging them to create new stories within their worlds and then advocate for each other on the Comic-Con highway. A great benefit of this project is that the creators are all equal in this project, and all creators will get an even share of the printed books. How cool is that? No one profits over other creators outside of the hustle of sales at their tables. That's right. Here we go. These are standard covers. So this is all of our successes in our success so far in 2019 was the winter and the summer. You guys can see those beautiful covers right there. And joining with a new standard cover is our fall Halloween edition. We have switched. We will no longer be going by seasons. This is the tag off or tag in, depending if you're fall or Halloween. The Halloween represents that we're going to be doing themes in 2020. So that will be something we're going to talk a lot more about next week. That's going to be kind of our focus. We're going to be saying goodbye to fall, or seasons, I should say. And we're going to be focusing more in the future on themes. Because one of the things we saw early on was people were kind of like, well, you know, I just don't know what the stories inside would be like. And we're like, oh, it's like just a mix. And people are like, a little intimidated by a mix. But we've gotten really good reviews. Travis has done a great job of bringing people together. I do want to take a few minutes and give a shout out to Travis and Chuck. I want to make sure that they're mentioned in the program. And we're gonna talk about that right here, right now. Let me get to it. Here's the history of the project and its importance. The project began as Written Sins Project back in 2017. The theme was meant to be about sins. At the time, Written Sins was the Global Digital Comic-Con, now known as Indie Advocates, after a name change in early 2018. That name change, while it helped explain what our site was about, kind of derailed the project. The project was meant to showcase artists and creators and also showcase our site. So the name change, and due to being overextended, the creator of IndieAdvocates.com, Mr. Anderson, put the project on hold. I was going through a lot. A lot of people know I've never lied about it. I was going through a divorce. My son was dealing with autism. We were trying to figure out, and he still deals with it. It's not like it went away. And we were trying to figure out how we were going to help him best. And I was very divided in my attentions. And I had a lot of projects going on at once. Feeling like another project was about to be put on me was devastating. And enter Travis Gibb. Over dinner at SuperCon in Fort Lauderdale, Travis Gibb encouraged Mr. Anderson to restart the project. He pointed out that it was a good idea that needed to be done. Still overwhelmed, Mr. Anderson, that's me, agreed to do the project only if Travis Gibb took the reins and became the project manager. Travis agreed, and they together began to bring the project to life with a new mission, statement focusing on creator creations instead of a new throwaway stories. And that's a very important thing, because one of the things with the sin thing that we were having a problem with was for the original project is we wanted people to take their characters and put them in circumstances with a sin-related theme. But that could even be complicated. And we're still debating doing a sin anthology. Believe it or not, there is going to be a Written Sins anthology in 2020. I was going to release it this year, but I didn't want it to interfere with what I was doing with the Advocator, so I pushed it to 2020. I don't know if I've ever said that out loud. I know I had mentioned it earlier in the year, but now you guys know why I didn't do it. It's because I really wanted this to take off. I think when you put too much out, I mean, this year alone, I relaunched Barbara Unleashed, which got me 4 issues. So we released a brand new issue this year of Barbara Unleashed, and that still hasn't made Kickstarter. Believe it or not, that's only been on sale. Like, we only have gone to Barbara Unleashed number 2 because I stopped being on Kickstarter for a while because I wanted to focus on the Advocator and I wanted to focus on Cat Dad and Supermom because I'm the producer of that. So I took a step back. So Travis being in charge of this has really helped out. He's done a great job of bringing talent together. He's done a really good job. And someone that we don't talk about a lot but deserves a lot of love is Chuck. Chuck has been the sounding board for me and Travis. He's been the editor, and now we've promoted the positions to be a content editor instead of just an editor. He's our content editor, so he looks at everything from an outside point of view. I'm the Advocator and the producer. Travis Gibb is the project manager, and Travis is the the project editor, but he's also going to try out being a project manager. Don't tell him I told you, but he's actually going to run his own issue coming soon. We're going to be talking about that once we get this funded. So we have plans already for 3 more issues. So it's up to you guys to help us get funded. Chuck has worked on all things Anderson, and when Mr. Anderson greenlit this project, he knew they needed the best. True statement. He reached out to Chuck, and within seconds, Chuck wanted it. In all fairness, Chuck was already attached as the editor of the Sins Project. Another true statement. So it was meant to be. Together, the 3 men have spent months talking about the project and getting creators excited and signed on for this, for not just this, but future issues. And it's true. We have worked really hard, and we've been working on it now for a year, to be honest with you. We have been doing this for a year over now. Because you think, when this all started last SuperCon, when SuperCon still owned themselves, and now Reed owns SuperCon, and we already had the next SuperCon. That's how long this has been going, and we're showing it. And Travis had pointed out something that I think is very accurate, and I think that we should be talking about it because it's so true. And that being, it's very rare that you hear about a comic book being produced 3 times in a year. It just does not happen. And it's kind of weird, and it's kind of a shame, but we did it. We got 3 done in a year. We could have had 4. We decided to slow down a bit to get this out right. But the risks and challenges, the stories are done. The risk is low. We cannot rule out alien invasion or giant lizard attacks, which is very true. You can never underestimate them showing up. But we have proven a track record that we deliver. Ooh, breaking news. This is cool because we're about to talk about Link anyway. So here it is. This is straight from Chuck. I'm telling him I'm reading it live on the air. All right, so here it goes. First time I'm reading it. Let's bring up Chuck's thing here, and I'll even show you his cover right now. There we go. He said, "Nice." All right. Witness the origin story of the smart-ass stony imp Link in the time before he became Belial's little buddy. Like that. Written by Chuck Pino. Penciled by Mark Zupich. Inked by Sean Barber. Lettered by Joseph Duas. Oh, Joseph Duas. Look at that. Cover by David Jackson. And Travis Gibb. Travis Gibb doing his magic to help this come to be. So that is the alt cover for Belial. The Chimp has been updated. There is a Virgin cover where, just imagine this without the Chimp logo on the white. There's mine, but mine also has, and I'll show you in a second, mine. This is Reapers, but even Reapers looks better. It's colored now, so this might actually have to be updated. I'll have to talk to Travis about it. And there's the Zombieful World of Oz and Dead Kingdom. All right. And again, they're all going to be Virgin. So, a couple more places to jump into. Don't go far. Okay. First off, I guess we can look at it this way. We'll look at it sideways. We're going to go to Facebook. We're going to go to Eric. Because Eric's got something cool. Eric Cockrell. All right, so here we go. I want to show you guys what Eric's up to. All right, here we go. So check this out. All right, so here it is. Oh, maybe they have it in their thing. Okay, here we go. All right, so check this out. Dual Say editor and great friend Chuck Pino is part of a new Kickstarter that dropped this week for the winter edition of the Advocator. Eric, it's the fall edition, Eric. I'm gonna write that, Eric. It's the fall. We got to make sure that it gets changed. Eric, you killing me. It's all right. It doesn't matter. Because I know he can't fix it now. But it's the fall edition, not the winter. I assure you guys. The Advocator features a short story by Chuck about his character Link. I'm hurt I'm not mentioned here. From the Belial series. Since we share artist Greg Warnachek, we've teamed up to offer an exclusive crossover print. Look at that. So there's Link right now. There's Belial, and here are the characters that you should be falling in love with from this amazing project, Dual Say, which we're going to play right now for you guys. Let's play that bad boy. And yes, I'm going to drop the link.
This is Maria Garza, reporting from the Archuleta Mesa near Dulce, New Mexico. I've infiltrated the perimeter. What's that? This place feels very familiar. I'm following some dirt paths around the mesa, looking for any signs of an entrance. And with any luck, I'll find Marcus Edwards alive and well within this place. But who knows what else?
In 2018, investigative reporter Maria Garza found herself obsessed with a missing persons case, the case of evolutionary biologist Marcus Edwards. When a ping from his cell phone appeared out of nowhere in the middle of nowhere near Dulce, New Mexico, she couldn't resist the mystery, which ultimately ended in her own missing persons case. Hi, my name is Eric J. Cockrell. I'm co-creator and co-writer of this tale, which began a year ago in the first Dulce comic, Dulce the New Guy, where we were introduced to Marcus Edwards and an insane cast of creatures and aliens. Dulce Tour of Duty picks up months after the first story. Marcus is working on fitting in with his fellow base workers, and when Maria Garza appears on the scene, he is thrown into an adventure that blows the base wide open for the reader, while introducing new allies and a new menace. If you enjoy a good old-fashioned, character-driven science fiction comic book adventure with loads of mythology and brilliant art, you'll love Dulce Tour of Duty. Story by Gene Hoyle and Eric J. Cockrell. Art by Greg Warnachek and Avery Ferdinand. Letters by Mike Wagner and edited by Chuck Pino. Get yours today at dulcecomic.com.
So, not only should you get that amazing book right now, you should back it. This should be part of your collection. But if you do it, you get this. All right. The deal is you back both Kickstarters at the physical level, and you score this incredible print. So how cool is that? So how much would a physical copy cost you? Let's find out. It's a great question. You want to know. So here we go. So physical tier, $5 or more. Wow, get a physical copy. There you go. Do the pay thing. Okay. So now I've officially backed Dual Say. And yes, I left it so I could do this on air. And then make sure when you back it that you share it on social media. So we want to do this where we share it on Facebook. We want to do this there. And now, of course, because I want to promote my book as well, because I'm evil, and I'm smart enough to know to always take advantage of a moment, I just back Dual Say. And then we put in, and if you back, you get a special print. Oh my. So, physical reward or higher. So I want to make sure that we're stressing that. Don't want any false advertising. All right. So we'll make sure to copy, there it is, the Advocator link, and then we're going to do this. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. So we're going to tweet that, if it lets us. Yep, okay, so now, here we go. If you, if you back both amazing Kickstarters, I'll share that in my story. And now I'm advocating for 2 different creators. How cool is that? We're advocating for 6 creative teams on top of now the Dual Say team. So I'm excited. I'm all in. So, and now I know you're wondering, how much would it be to get a physical copy on the Advocator Fall Edition? Well, And now here's a little trick for creators, and I'm going to let you in on it. If you're part of something, but you're not the one running it, so at this point Travis is running the campaign and I'm just the advocator, back your own project for $1. Do it. Back your project. The reason you want to do that is it sends out a message to anyone who's following you. It's just a smart business play. Some people who are running the project obviously can't do it, but because Travis is running it, I can do this. And I only back it for $1. Some people, although, you know what, in all honesty, I might want to actually, I know I can buy the covers on the off side, but you know, I kind of like the Reaper thing. And to be honest with you, talking about pricing, check this out. All covers for just $60 is not bad. You're getting 7 covers because this is the first time every one of our issues has their own cover. So you're gonna get 7 issues for $60. How cool is that? I'm telling you, man, that's some good stuff right there. I'm pretty impressed with that. Chuck's saying, "What's up, buddy?" Showing us for a bit. I'm sure he's gone back to creating more things with Link and Dulce and editing 10,000 projects. But I mean, this is a solid deal. But even if you just want to get a starting point, $10. And where is it? Oh, I'm sorry, $12 physical edition. So, but it's free shipping for U.S. customers. So if you're a U.S. backer, $12 is not bad for a comic book. Especially this comic book, by the way. I haven't mentioned it. I believe we come in at 36 pages in this issue. 40. I think we're back to 36. We were at 36 in the first issue, 40 in the second, and I think we're back to 36 now. Let me do quick math here. 4 pages for all the covers. 5 of them come in at 4 pages. That's 25. So 29, 7. Yeah, about 36. 36 to 40. So this is not your average size comic book. So that's actually a pretty good deal because I sell these for $10 a pop at conventions. So I think I've done the infomercial. I think I've infomercialed out. I think we've actually been on for an hour too. Yep, we're just about to hit an hour. So usually that means the infomercial's over. So should I give you guys a 1-800 number? I don't have a 1-800 number. That I don't have. But what I do have is a going out commercial.
The Advocator. It's passion and storytelling. It's about community coming together to support each other. It's about getting exposure for creators and helping them reach new markets. It's about taking creativity to the next level by only using 4-page stories to tell a compelling story. It's a sneak peek into bigger universes. It's about the power of creativity. But most importantly, it's about you. It's about entertaining you, enticing you to read, and getting you interested in comics like never before. It's about making you one of us and making you an indie advocate. Get your copy of the indie comic Poo Poo Platter today on Kickstarter. Brought to you by Advocate Comics and the site that started it all, indieadvocates.com, the global digital Comic-Con.
Thank you, everyone, for the support. We appreciate it. Please share the video. Please share this on social media. Please talk about it. If you've read it, please give it a review. If you read any of the original winter or summer editions, we could really use a review with a link in it. Thank you all for stopping by and spending this hour with me. Thank you all for being part of the Advocator and becoming an indie advocate yourself.